Really seen some amazing youth this week. You remember Kosh and Olivia and Mason from Prevention Day on Monday? Didn't anyone remember? CADCA just appointed one of these amazing youth to our board of directors, LaDerek Smith. LaDerek, congratulations. You know, it was Aristotle who said, "You are what you do most often." Excellence then is not an act, but it's a habit. And this young lady that is recipient of this year's National Leadership Award truly exemplifies those words of excellence. Neha Shanavas is this year's recipient. She's a freshman at UConn. Now, not just like any other freshman, because they've already funded her through medical school. She's been a strong voice in the state of Connecticut, speaking to the state assembly, and a known entity. And I want to thank my friends from the partnership in Connecticut. Where are you, Kelly? Where are you? Yeah, it's not often that the field exposes you to somebody. Usually it's our trainers. Usually it's our director of youth services and her trusty assistant. It may be the director of the Geographic Health Alliance, Equity Alliance, or it may be our CSO, Pat Castillo, because they're exposed to these youth every day. But when I met this young lady, within 10 minutes, I was like, no, this is the person. And I can't wait for you all to meet her. So please welcome to the stage our recipient of the National Youth Leadership Award, Neha Shanavas.
Thanking CADCA and General Barry Price for this incredible honor. I'm truly humbled to stand here among such incredible leaders across the nation and the world. My name is Neha Fatima Shanavas, and I am a freshman at the University of Connecticut, majoring in molecular and cellular biology. UConn's combined BSMD program. My journey in substance misuse prevention began during my high school years at the Sport and Medical Science Academy in Hartford, Connecticut. During my sophomore year, Ethan, a fellow student, passed away from a fentanyl overdose at school. He was 13 years old at that time. It never occurred to me that somebody who walked the same halls and ate in the same cafeteria as me could just leave this world so suddenly. It hit way too close to home, and to be honest, it was a very scary moment. I still remember the day it happened very clearly. We were in lockdown for what felt like forever, and we slowly started learning things as students started posting on social media. When the lockdown was lifted and we were instructed to leave classrooms, that's when I realized the actual dexterity of the situation. There were so many people there. Cops' cars surrounded the school, and there were many media and cameras there as well. Unfortunately, in today's society, if there's a lot of people somewhere, it's likely because something very bad happened. Our school experienced a tragedy, and I still remember a police officer helping me hold my coat as I walked into a baby pool filled with chemical solutions in case I happened to step in fentanyl that day. And as I was walking through the halls, I saw drug detecting canines, which I didn't know at the time were looking for fentanyl. And they found a lot of it. Approximately 40 bags of fentanyl were found in our school across multiple locations. Additionally, 100 bags were found in the student's bedroom. After further investigation, they were found to come from the same place. After that, an extensive cleaning process started at our school, shutting it down for multiple days. And it was during that time that we found out that a middle school student had passed away from fentanyl overdose, and 2 other middle schoolers had come into contact with it. There were a lot of questions going on in everybody's mind. How did a middle schooler get access to 140 bags of fentanyl? How did that same student overdose on school premises, a place that is meant for education and enrichment? I have these questions and a lot more. I wasn't trying to place blame on anybody. I was trying to understand why we had had a substance misuse problem for such a long time, yet it took a young life lost to spur us into action when we should have been working to prevent this long before we lost a student. My school didn't have Narcan the day Ethan passed away, but 4 months later, several doses of Narcan were available at all schools throughout my district. At SMSA, we lost a student, a friend, a part of our community. I felt powerless, but also determined. I didn't want to stand by and let that happen again, not to my school, not to another student, not to another family, not to another teacher. Our school was completely heartbroken. It was very hard to come back to school a couple days later knowing that we had lost one of our own. Focusing on academics was a tough thing for a lot of us. That moment inspired me to act and join the Governor's Prevention Partnership, which is funded by the Connecticut Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, also known as DEMAS. The Youth Advisory Board is a statewide group of young leaders who support prevention efforts, develop professional skills, and serve as ambassadors for their peers in addressing substance use and other community concerns. It is on the board that I found a platform and never-ending support to turn my determination into tangible, positive change. I was honored to work on the Prevention Starts With You campaign, launched by GPP, directly motivated by what happened at my school that day. This initiative aimed to distribute 50,000 doTERRA drug deactivation pouches and conversation starters to families across Connecticut, preventing the diversion and misuse of over 2 million pills. And we exceeded our goal. We actually ended up passing up almost 60,000 pouches. This campaign also focused on educating the public for a statewide media effort, emphasizing that even small preventative steps, like having open conversations with young people, can yield significant results. Youth whose parents who discuss the dangers of substance misuse are 50% less likely to engage in it. I brought the messaging to my school by engaging with the principal about distributing the pouches on campus. Additionally, I had the opportunity to speak about the pouches and their impact at a local Yard Goats minor league baseball game to help raise awareness in the community. As part of the Youth Advisory Board, I was also able to partake in the Speakers Bureau at GPP, which was a youth advocate-led group where I had the opportunity to testify for bills at the state capitol and share what had happened at my school to inform and engage legislators. After the overdose, every politician was coming forward to call for more access to Narcan, which is critically important, don't get me wrong, but no one was talking about how to prevent a 13-year-old from getting access to 140 bags of fentanyl to begin with. They needed to hear it and understand about the long-term value of prevention, and I didn't know it at the time. But I had the ability as a 17-year-old to help shape policy and change outcomes. One of the bills that we worked on, which I'm incredibly proud of, includes giving free doTERRA drug disposal back to patients who are prescribed tolerance-developing drugs like opioids. These bags make it easier for people to safely dispose of leftover medications, preventing them from falling into the wrong hands. I believe we were successful because of our youth involvement. It was our voices being amplified with the support of local prevention advocates and experts. I'll never forget the day I first saw those doTERRA drug deactivation pouches at my local CPS. It felt amazing. To see the product of all our work and dedication sitting there, ready to help people, was an incredible moment. It reminded me that change is possible, and even as young people, our voices can and will create results. I also had the opportunity to speak on local news channels to spread awareness on Drug Take Back Day and the importance of safe safe drug disposal. And perhaps most importantly, I have the opportunity to work alongside many youth across Connecticut who are just as passionate about prevention. Together, we've built a network of young leaders fighting for healthier, safer communities. A key part of my journey in prevention advocacy has been the invaluable mentorship I've received along the way. At GPP, I am fortunate to have mentors who believed in my voice and guided me through complex policy discussions and community advocacy. Mentorship doesn't just build leaders, it creates a ripple effect of empowerment and change. The guidance I received gave me the confidence to step up, take initiative, and lead projects that made a difference. It reminded me that while prevention starts with awareness, mentorship is what sustains the movement by nurturing the next generation of advocates. Through my work, I realized these issues aren't just confined to one school or one town. Education systems across CT and beyond face similar struggles. But I've also seen how much we can accomplish when we all come together with a shared purpose, and that gives me hope. The statistics are unbelievable, but you already know that because you're here. The trends in teenage substance misuse have changed, and the crisis requires action, now more than ever. It is very important to remember, however, that this is a global epidemic, and it doesn't discriminate by geography, culture, or socioeconomic status. Whether it's opioids in the US, synthetic drugs in Europe, or the rise of vaping amongst youth worldwide, every region faces its own unique challenges. Addressing substance misuse requires us to think locally and act globally, while keeping in mind we are all interconnected in this fight, and the core values remain the same. Access to resources, education, and most importantly, compassion. It's not going to be an easy task, but we can and we must help each other in prevention, because the future of our city, state, nation, and the globe depends on our ability to rise to this challenge with determination. It is with immense gratitude that I stand before you today to accept the Outstanding Youth Leader Award. Thank you so much again to CADCA and General Price for this extraordinary recognition. Your leadership and commitment to empowering youth leaders have made this moment possible. To the members of the Governor's Prevention Partnership, thank you so much for believing in me and providing me with a platform to make a difference. I would especially like to thank Kelly, Hannah, and Wendy. Your mentorship and guidance is the reason why I'm standing here today. Thank you to Demas in Connecticut for being on the front lines of prevention, not just in our state, but nationally. To my family, friends, and peers, your unwavering support has fueled my journey. This award is not just mine, it belongs to all of us who work tirelessly to make prevention our #1 priority. To my fellow youth prevention leaders, our voices matter. I never thought I would have been able to make this much of an impact by drawing attention to what was going on in my community. Our actions today lay the foundation for a healthier, brighter future. You can be the change in your community. Let this be a reminder that while the road ahead might be challenging, we can do this. We have the abilities to do it. Looking to the future, I'm committed to continuing this work. At the partnership, we have some very exciting plans. We're expanding our campaign to include Prevention Starts at Home, which is centered around direct mailing those drug disposal kits to encourage convenient drug disposal. We are also planning on investigating state mandates for grade levels 9 through 12 and connect our prevention ideas into PE and health assignments. I dedicate this award to the memory of all the lives that have been lost in this fight against substance misuse, including the student that passed away at my school. Let us honor their legacy by continuing to fight for solutions, advocate for prevention, and build communities where everybody has the opportunity to thrive. Lastly, thank you. Thank you for believing in the power of youth advocacy and leadership. Together we can and we will make a difference in this epidemic.